What's up guys, my name's Brandon, and about a week after releasing Beta 3, Apple returns with iOS 13.4 Beta 4 for both developers and for public beta testers. Now we also got beta updates for iPadOS, macOS, and tvOS, but for some reason we did not get a watchOS beta update just yet, which is a little bit odd. But anyways, in this video, we're gonna talk about what's new here in 13.4 Beta 4, all the bugs, the bug fixes, as well as how the performance and the battery life have been on Beta 3. So this software was released yesterday on Tuesday, March 3rd, but of course I did have a lot of other coverage that I was doing here on the channel with the S20 Ultra, so I did not get around to uploading this video on yesterday, but here we are today. Anyways, taking a look at the size of this update, you can see here on my iPhone 11 Pro, it came in at 151.5 megabytes, and that size is also very similar on the iPad for iPadOS 13.4 Beta 4. It was about 140 megabytes for me. Now, if we go ahead to our settings right here and then go into General About, take a look at the build number, you can see here 17E5249A. So since we have an A at the end of the build number there, that does usually indicate that we are very close to a final release and that there may only be like one more beta, possibly only two more betas until we see the final release. And I will talk about more of the release date at the end of this video. But if we scroll on down a little bit more to the modem firmware version, you can see there the modem firmware is unchanged. It's still 1.05.28, which is another indication that we are very, very close to the final release. So anyways, the first thing I noticed, and you guys may have noticed this as well, when we go into our settings, General About, you can see that it no longer hangs. And if you guys remember in my last video, I talked about how when you went into settings, General About, it would kind of just hang there and it would take about 2 or 3 seconds before it actually went into the About section right here. It was kind of laggy, and that has been fixed here, thankfully, in Beta 4, because it was noticeable and it was annoying. It made your phone just feel slower overall. Now, thanks to a Reddit user, we do also see this new splash screen here for downloading music inside of the Apple Music application. You can see here it says automatically download music when you add it to your library. And this is pretty big. It's pretty obtrusive here on the screen. And this is obviously just a server-side update. This is not exclusive to 13.4 Beta 4. Everybody will see this, but this is new. We also got a new dark mode feature inside of the WhatsApp application. So if you do use WhatsApp, if you go into dark mode, if you just go ahead and toggle on dark mode, you can see your WhatsApp does also abide by those rules and switches over to a dark mode. So it did take them quite a while to finally implement this, but now you have dark mode inside of WhatsApp. And once again, this is not exclusive to 13.4 Beta 4. This will work on any device, but this did just happen yesterday. Also, if we go into our settings and go to TV and then go to audio languages, the text right here under default has changed just a little bit. And thanks to Zolotech for bringing this to my attention, that this is something that's changed here in Beta 4. But aside from those minor changes, there's really nothing else that has been changed here in iOS 13.4 Beta 4. I have not really seen too many people complain about the Mail application, so it seems that Mail, and of course we have that new toolbar down there, it looks a lot better than it did in 13.3.1. But anyways, I've seen a lot less people complain about the Mail application, a lot less bugs reported. I know a lot of people had the issue where it would show a certain amount of emails, and when they went into the Mail application, they would not see as many emails in their inbox as the badge would indicate. So it appears that that has been fixed, and a multitude of other issues have apparently been fixed. Mail for me personally has been perfectly fine. I use this on my daily driver device, and I have not had any issues with Mail, and I use it all throughout the day, every single day. The notification center overlapping issue has finally been fixed fully here in Beta 4. So this started with Beta 1. Actually, Beta 1 and Beta 2 had issues with your notifications just overlapping over top of each other. The bubbles would kind of be on top of another application, and it was really clunky and really buggy. It looked really bad. Thankfully, that has been fixed, and actually Beta 3 was the first time it got fixed for most people, but some people did still have it, and now it's been fully fixed here in Beta 4, so you should not run into that issue anymore inside of the notification center. Now, I also had somebody message me a very strange bug over here on Instagram, and it had to do with Face ID. So you can see right here, it says, ever since I downloaded 13.4 Beta 3, I'm having issues with my Face ID. When I'm going to unlock my phone, it shows this message. It sometimes works, other times it acts out like this. So for some reason, the image got deleted in here, but basically what it showed was Face ID. When he tried to unlock his phone with Face ID, it said that the phone needed to heat up first. Like it was really cold, it was in freezing temperatures or something like that. So I asked him where he was, and he's actually in Panama, where it's like in the 90s. It's very hot there. and for some reason it said the phone needs to heat up before it can activate Face ID and scan his face. So this is very strange. I've not seen this before, and he just started getting this with 13.4 beta 3. So if you've had that issue or heard about it, let me know down in a comment below. I've not had that issue or any issues with Face ID as of yet in 13.4. Now, somebody also commented on my beta 3 video from last week saying this: what about the notification delay issue? Did Apple fix it in 13.4? Now, I'm not sure exactly what he's referencing with the notification delay. If he's talking about text messages not, making a sound on the lock screen, no, that has still not been fixed. But I'm not aware of any other notification delay issue. I've not really had any other issues with notifications aside from the overlapping issue, which has been solved, and the text message notification bug where the lock screen does not light up or give you a sound or a vibration or anything when you get an iMessage. But aside from those two, not really sure. I've not had any other issues with notifications. Now, a couple people were also complaining about the connectivity and even losing signal completely on beta 3, like right after installing beta 3. So let me know if that's something that's affecting you. I've not had any issues with connectivity at all on 13.4. Everything seems really, really good for me in terms of connectivity. But the fact that multiple people had issues with connectivity and losing signal makes me believe that we are going to see at least one more beta of 13.4, even though we do have an A at the end of the build number there, and the fact that the modem firmware version has not changed, I still think we should get at least one more beta since things like this are still happening. Now, for those of you asking me about the Instagram audio bug, this is still persisting, unfortunately, here in beta 4. Numerous people also commented about this, and of course I experienced this as well. Basically, when you play a video and you go out and back to the home screen, you will continue hearing that audio even if you muted it inside of the Instagram app. So really annoying, and it mainly happens when you go out of Instagram and quickly into another application. So just be aware of that, and hopefully Apple does fix that very soon because it's not an issue with Instagram. Now, as far as performance goes, performance has been pretty good for me so far in general on iOS 13.4. I've really had no complaints at all. Beta 3 was a little bit smoother for me than the first two betas, and beta 4 feels about the same as beta 3. So really no complaints. It does feel better than some of the earlier betas, but you're not going to really notice a huge change coming from 13.3.1. Of course, I do, just because I test these all day, every day, so I will notice that. But you guys most likely will not notice a big difference when it comes to performance. But of course, if you did have bugs, that were going on with 13.3 or 13.3.1, and you update to 13.4 and it fixes those, your device is going to feel a lot smoother, a lot better, and you're going to think it performs a lot better just because you have a lot of those issues solved. So it just depends on your circumstance and what kind of bugs you're facing on your device. 13.4 should fix a lot of the bugs you were facing in earlier versions of iOS 13. Now, as far as battery life goes, battery life has been really good for me on 13.4. This is not my main device right here. I do use my iPhone 11 Pro Max, which is on 13.4, but battery life has been really good so far for me. I still go to bed with about 15% of battery remaining, but that is because I've been using my phone a lot more recently. But as far as compared to 13.3.1, again, there's not a huge difference. I noticed about an average of about 10 to 15 minutes more of screen on time. So it is an increase, but in terms of you actually noticing it, it's probably not going to be that big of a difference to you. But of course, the good news is that at least the battery life or the performance did not get worse. We're not going backwards with these updates. Now, as far as the release date for the next beta, this is something that's going to be a little bit tricky because we do have an A at the end of this build number here, which could mean that we could get the final version of 13.4 as early as next week, really. But me personally, I think we're going to see at least one more beta of 13.4. Because just like I said earlier, we did have people losing signal like when they updated. We had some issues with people installing the betas today. So I think there's just still some things that Apple needs to work out. So I say that we get another beta next week, maybe on March 10th or March 11th, we will see a beta 5. And then possibly the following week, we will see a beta 6 potentially. And then probably on the last week of March right here, we will see the release of 13.4. Now, Apple was rumored to be having an event on March 31st, but it's looking more and more likely like that's not going to happen, at least not like a keynote where people are invited and everything like that. It could be like a digital event. We don't really know just yet. So we still don't know for sure if we're going to get a March event from Apple. And that kind of makes guessing when 13.4 and predicting when 13.4 will be released. It makes it a little bit harder since we don't have a set date for the event. Because if we did have a date, if it was on March 31st, we could probably expect 13.4 to get released on March 31st. But now that there might not be an event, it could be the week before that, the week of the 23rd. So I will keep you guys updated. Of course, I will let you know on Twitter as well when I find out anything. And of course, I will continue talking about it in these iOS update videos. So that is iOS 13.4 beta 4. Really nothing new here, just a lot of bug fixes, security enhancements, and of course some performance enhancements as well with a lot of those bug fixes and things like that. It does feel about the same as beta 3 in terms of performance and battery life, but that again is an improvement over beta 1 and beta 2, and of course over 13.3.1. So we are trending in the right direction with these updates. And for those of you asking if you should install this on your daily driver device, I really never recommend that, but if you really want to, I really don't see any issue with it since we do have an A at the end of the build number, and we are on the 4th beta going on to potentially the 5th beta. So a lot of the bugs have pretty much been squashed at this point, so I don't really think you're in too much danger or risking too much by installing this on your daily driver device. But for most people, I still recommend waiting until the final release, and maybe even just like a day after the final release, after I go over everything and make sure there's no major bugs. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much it for this video. I hope you did enjoy it. If you did, make sure to give this video a thumbs up, and of course subscribe so you don't miss my next iOS 13.4 video. So thanks again for watching, guys, and I'll see you soon.